Okay folks, got another Philippine Cobra I'm working on here. It's in pretty good condition. I had to replace the meter. It's got a new LesComm meter in it now. You can see part of the digits are out on the stock display, but since it's being replaced anyway, I didn't worry about that too much. But here's a look at the PC board. Move the camera slow so you get a good shot. Get a good view, I mean. You can have a shot too if you want it. I like Jack Daniels myself. You see the PC board's in really good condition now. Whoever had the radio, take the microphone loose here, rewired all the switches and put the I think it's called the Poor Man's channel mod in it, which I've removed all of that. Fortunately, they didn't booger up none of the runs or do any cutting on any of the runs. They're all original. Okay, but the only switch that's still wired up is the noise blanker A and L switch. The other three have been disconnected. And here's the shot of the inside of it. Looks like the PLL was replaced at one time, but fortunately they put a socket back in place of it. And the camera makes some of the areas look gray. I've noticed that on some of my videos. I don't know why it does that, but the areas are not gray. They're all the same color, and as you can see, as the camera moves away from the area, it's not gray anymore. But right now I've got all the wires loose. I was checking things out. I found a couple of bad caps. Replaced that one, and there's like one right down there next to it, the little black one. That one was bad. Both of those have been replaced, and all the rest of the caps look pretty good. There's no swelling, and they are of the correct value. So we'll probably just test those out. But the one thing that the person who had this radio before did that I really don't understand. See these screws? That's what they used to put the covers on with. And they had also put an echo board in it. Did a very poor job, I think. But the little nut inserts, the little split nut inserts that go in all the holes, it destroyed those. So I'm going to have to replace those. I was going to say I have some of the remnants down inside here. Now you can see a piece of one right there in the corner next to the light bulb rubber insert. But it just, of course, when you put a screw that big through these little split nuts, it causes them to break. There's another piece over there. There's a piece underneath this plastic washer here, if I can get this damn washer out of the way. That's what it did to those, you know. I mean, it basically just broke them. So I'm replacing all of them. I've got some aluminum blind nuts, 3mm blind nuts, or M3 blind nuts coming. So all of those will be repaired, actually probably better than stock. But anyway, that's one of the problems. The other oh, and by the way, I threw the covers away. The other problem is this hole in the back here. Somebody had put a channel switch or something back there, but you can see this is a Philippine Cobra. It was made in August of '91, I think is what that says. Anyway, I'll get that plastic off of there and clean up the back of it real good. I just mostly had it out testing it to make sure that it was worth doing something with. All these Philippine Cobras, I feel, they are worth putting the extra effort in to get them back up to where they should be. And like I said, the inside of it looks pretty good. And none of the runs were hacked up on the bottom. At least the person that put the screws in the covers or whatever didn't do anything like that. But you can see I got the that echo board is out, and I found the wires going to the switches. Some of them had a little piece of electrical tape on them, some of them don't. But I'll address all of that. All of that will be corrected, replaced. I may put an LC6404 in here, and I'll just use toggle switches up in the front to make the changes, you know, the momentary toggles like I did on the previous radio. And I've got to do something about that microphone jack there. I think I'm not absolutely positive, but I believe this model is supposed to have a PC board. Now, where was I? Anyway, you get the general idea. Anyway, I may put the an LC6404 in here, and I've got to do something about that mic jack. I think it is supposed to have a PC board in place of it. But you know, other than that big hole in the back and having to replace the M3 nuts in the side of the radio, everything else is in pretty good shape. The faceplate is not perfect, but I've got some faceplates that I bought from Ranger when Ranger came out with their TR296, which was basically a copy of a 148. The faceplate does fit this. In fact, the part number on the back of the faceplate has 148 in it. So I'm going to use one of those, and I have some new Lexan 148 faceplates that I'm going to try, see what it looks like. If I don't like it, then I've got some LesComm faceplate stickers that I'm going to put on there to make it look better. But it'll look good either way. And I'm going to clean up all of these loose wires. They're no longer needed or not going to be needed, and I will take out the slack, remove them, just basically get it to looking good. And I've already tested the radio. The little radio works great. The receiver is outstanding. Let's see. I think I still got the speaker hooked up to this. Sorry for moving the camera around on you. See if I can't get if I can't get something on the radio here. And of course, when I want to show you something, I'll let you hear something. There's nothing to hear. I'm on the lower side of 38. I hear some distant AM heterodyne, but that's about it. Alright, well, oh, there was something. Like I said, some distant AM traffic. Well, it's got an excellent receiver on it. The audio sounds terrific. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and post this video on YouTube, and this radio will be on eBay in a few days. Oh, and about the covers, I told you I trashed the covers, and what we're going to be replacing those with is a brand new set of chrome covers. If I can get them out of the bag here, I'll show them to you. Hard to do one-handed. Hold on. Okay, this is what they look like, and they will be chrome. Can't really tell a whole lot because of all the reflection in it, but it'll look pretty good. Sure will. You can't see nothing. Looks like you're looking in a mirror, but it'll look a whole lot better than the boogered up ones that were on here. Had holes in them, and I don't know. I think they had put a variable power pod in there and wired it up direct. So I removed all that and put the original pot back in place. And they didn't burn the runs or anything, which I'm glad of that. All that looks pretty good. Alright, we'll be back. Part 3. Okay. Got the blind rivet nuts installed. That's what they look like. You can see that from the back there. Takes the place of the originals. And they will work as good or better than the originals. Got them in all the holes. Oh, I just messed that meter up. Meter alignment. Forgot about that. Getting ready to take the channel selector out of it now. I'm going to wait and tie all these wires up after I get everything installed and done. I've already done the Clarifier Mod. The LesComm Deluxe Clarifier is done. And I cleaned up the chassis a little. It don't look like a new one, of course. It's got some staining in the aluminum. But it looks pretty good. And it is a Philippine 148. Anyway, I'm going to take the channel selector out of it now and dismantle that display. And this one's getting a LC6404 and a blue display. Alright. Okay. I replaced a couple more capacitors. I put that big one in here. The big 4700 microfarad. Give a little cushion when you're really driving the audio hard. It helps the 13 volt supply to the radio stay up. And I replaced this one. This it was a 1000 microfarad electrolytic. Now the value checked good, but I noticed some swelling on the top of the cap. I don't know if you can really see it that well or not. If you look there where the cut is, right there in the top, it's trying to bulge out right there. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus a little better on it. No, the camera wants to focus everywhere but right there. Okay, there we go. You can see it now. See how it's trying to bulge out, trying to swell up right there. So although it checked out okay as far as the capacitance value, I went ahead and replaced it because of that swelling there on the cap. So when you're checking these old radios out, that's one of the things you want to look for. You want to look for the swelling. and also look for leaking. But I did test all the rest of the capacitors and checked them, double checked them again with a magnifying glass to make sure that there was no swelling. Or another symptom is the heat shrink around the capacitor will melt and sometimes draw up. It'll actually split because the cap got hot. Now this one I replaced just to get it out of the way. The one that was in there didn't have long enough legs for me to move it out of the way of the adapter, so I just went ahead and put another one in there. It was fine, but like I said, the legs wasn't long enough. With this cap right here, one right there next to the PLL chip, the end had started to swell a little bit. And the reason for that is that they use 10-volt capacitors, electrolytic capacitors, in much of this radio. That one that I just showed you actually should have been like a 16 or something when they built the radio. A lot of the other ones in here are 16, so I don't understand why they made that one a 10. But it's been replaced by a 25-volt cap, and so there should not be any trouble with that one. And this one back here, it was 1,000. I replaced it with a 4700. It was a 16-volt, I believe. Oops, yeah, just dropped it. But anyway, it's been replaced with a 25-volt and a 4700 microfarad. So, like I said, that'll give you a little more cushion when you're really modulating this thing strong. And it's got some really good modulation. I'll show you all that on the scope when I get it finished. We'll be back. I just finished tidying up the cabling inside the radio. There's the 6404 is mounted, 2 brackets over there. You can see the cabling now is all nice and tidy. Now I got to put the frequency counter cable on the bottom and run it out the back, and I'll be ready to put the covers back on it. The LesComm Deluxe Clarifier Mod is done. The radio's been tuned and aligned. Only thing we've got to do now is make it look pretty. Okay, I wanted to show you guys the this new Lexan faceplate before I put the knobs on there. It's got this protective plastic on it, and I was getting ready to peel that off, but wanted to show you that before I peeled it off. It's coming off right now. And there's the protective plastic. I was covering up the new Lexan faceplate. It looks pretty nice. Nice and glossy. I'm getting ready to put the knobs on it. The knobs all cleaned up nice. You see that there? I'll put a little bit of lubricant, like white lithium grease, on the shafts before I put the knobs back on. And I just got the chrome cover sitting on there. They are not bolted down yet. Still got to do that. And after I do that, we'll do a final video of all of the testing and modulation on the scopes. I now got both scopes turned off because of all the heat they generate. But like I said, the radio's been aligned and tuned, or tuned and aligned, however how you want to say it. The LesComm Deluxe Clarifier Mod has been done. And we are on eBay. Our eBay ID is LCTS03. And the radio is already on eBay. I don't have the final pictures and all of that, the video done up yet, but I'll get that done here today and get all that on eBay. Okay? Alright. Thanks. Another thing I wanted to show you real quick is these new chrome covers do not come with speakers installed. So I put a new Workman 3.5-inch speaker in there, and a new grill cloth, new screws and nuts. Okay, so it looks really nice. Okay, I'm going to put the covers on it.
Charlie Tango. So I don't know. I was thinking about joining it. I don't know what to do there, but I'm thinking about joining it there, Roger. I wouldn't mind getting in that whiskey tango there, but that'd be about all I'm going to be in there, right?
All right, it's finished.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, I've joined that American Kangaroo there a long time ago there.
And let's see, let me set the squelch and switch to AM, and we will scan down. Now I've got the frequency counter hooked up to it, but it's the old style frequency counter. It's the old style frequency counter, and it's getting too much signal, so it gets stupid. The radio is set up for one of the new frequency counters that you buy now off of eBay. The input circuits are different, so the radio needs to provide more signal to these newer frequency counters, so that's why that one over there is getting stupid. It's getting too much signal. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn it off to keep from messing it up. And the scan has stopped on channel 19. Let me squelch it up a little bit more. Oh, I have to squelch it up a lot more. And it goes back to scanning. One thing I wanted to point out, didn't realize it till I put the knobs on it. The squelch knob and the RF gain, or the volume. The volume is right. Okay, when you turn the volume off, the little indicator right there is in the right spot. But the squelch knob, when you unsquelch it all the way, the pointer is at about the 5 o'clock position instead of about the 7 o'clock position. And then I have to turn it back around to about the 10 or 11 o'clock position to squelch it. But that's the only thing wrong with it. Yeah, I don't know if somebody replaced a knob before and got the wrong one. Maybe that's off of a newer 148 or something, but I wanted to point that out. Hey, the squelch works perfectly. It's just the little indicator there on the knob is in the wrong place. The one for the SWR is right where it's supposed to be. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus a little better. See that? The little orange indicator there, it's right where it's supposed to be. I guess if you wanted to, you could swap the knobs and put this one in place of the squelch. That is the only discrepancy. Alright, this is your scan button. Down is scan down. And it will roll back over and start at the top and go down again. Center position is normal. You control it with the other switches and the channel selector. Up, of course, is scan up. And when it gets to the top of this one, you'll see it go to U97, and it'll start at the bottom with -90. Okay, and it'll count up until something opens the squelch. This button here, this switch here I should say, is your favorite get and save. To save it, you press the switch down. Okay, that just saved channel 79. To get it, press the switch up. Now we're already there, so it's not going to make any difference. The tone switch is now the plus or minus 10 channel switch. So if we go up plus or minus 10 channels, and then we come back to the favorite switch and press up for get, it takes us back to negative 79. Okay, this switch, your bright dim switch, is now the band up down switch. It jumps 45 channels at a time. And as I've said before, if you want the channels and the bands to match the export radios, always push up. Always go up on the band switch. Okay, channel 1, 41, 86, and then it rolls back around to 90 again. Negative 90. Down does just the opposite. Goes down 45 channels at a time, but they don't line up because the radio only has 12 channels on the top band, on band E. That's because the 8719 only has 192 channels in it, period. There's no way to get any more. Alright, it's got the new Lexan faceplate on it, and a brand new bezel. The bezel, of course, like I said before, was made for a Ranger TR296. So it's not exactly like a Cobra bezel. You see, it has a little indentation that runs all the way around the edge of the faceplate, or the bezel rather. You can see it here on the corner. It's not very noticeable, and most of the bezel is flat, like the original 148. Okay. Let's put it back to scan, and we'll go find something for us to listen to. I've got it on AM now. Let me open the squelch. Squelch it back up. And I didn't want to open the volume too much, or it'll blow us out of here when it finds a channel. But it'll scan up until it finds something, and then the squelch will open. And if you want to continue to listen to that, you either move this switch to the center position, or you just open the squelch. If you just open the squelch, then all you got to do is hit the scan button again and start back scanning. I mean, squelch it to start back scanning. And let's see, we're getting pretty close to the CB channels now. But if it stops on a channel and you want it to start scanning again, then use the channel selector and move it up one channel or down one channel, depending on which way you're scanning. If you're scanning down, you want to drop down one channel. If you're scanning up, you want to move it up one channel, and then it'll continue scanning unless there's something on that channel. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to move it off of that channel. Oh, he's bleeding over. He's running some power. Okay. Even with that big filter, you can't overcome those 1,000-watt amplifiers. What are we stopped on now? We're stopped on channel 19. Alright, it should go back to scanning, and it did. But anyway, that's the scan feature. And let's go to the lower side of 38. See what's on there. Your A&L and noise blanker are wired permanently on. Okay, the wires are inside the radio with heat shrink around them, and they're labeled in case you ever want to put it back. All the other switches had already been disconnected and the wires cut, so I couldn't tape and label those. Not tape, but heat shrink and label those. But here it is. It is a beautiful radio. Covers don't exactly fit like I want them to. They don't fit as well as the stock covers, but they look a whole lot better than that set of covers that were on it. It does have a new speaker in it. And this is the microphone. It's a regular Cobra microphone, but someone did change the cord. If you see that little thing there at the bottom of it, it's got a new mic cord on it. It's a smaller cord than the stock one, but it is it's a good cord. But anyway, I think you will certainly enjoy this radio. And it is on eBay. Our eBay ID is LCTS03. Thanks a lot.